What's going on, everyone? Marty here at Pakistan. Welcome back to the channel for another video. This week we are in the wildlife reserve of Parc la Verendrye and we are doing circuit 11. So let's go.
All we have is nothing, sometimes nothing's all you need. When you're stripped of all your armor, you can finally feel the breeze. We're living in the moment. We ain't got pockets full of money, but we're rich in other things. This highway is our living room, we're swimming in the mystery. We're living in the moment. We were born with gold on the inside, gold on the inside. We're alive, we're sipping on sunshine. We wanna taste all this world as the offer. Unafraid, we were made to wander. We will never let it go to waste. No, we're never gonna let it fade. We wanna taste all this world as the offer. When we run out of wine, we'll be sipping on sunshine.
All right, we're officially on the water, and this week we've got some familiar faces here. We've got Pierre from Outdoor Therapy joining us, and an old friend of mine, Julian, and his daughter. We're gonna be completing circuit 11, so give or take about 30 kilometers over the next 3 days. This is actually our last trip of the summer, closing the season. We started the circuit 11 at the Antostagan, I don't know how to say that, Antostagan campground instead of starting from Le Domaine in Parc la Verendrye, because I wanted to avoid the big winds of the big lake Jean Perret out there. So we started from a different starting point, if you will. And let me tell you, the Antostagan lake, man, the first little bit was so windy. I'm glad we weren't on the big lake. But now, look at this place. It is absolutely gorgeous. And we've got about 12 clicks to do today, a couple of portages, and maybe a couple of rapids we're gonna run. I'm excited to look at those and maybe have fun in them.
We wanna taste all this world as the offer. Unafraid, we were made to wander. We will never let it go to waste. No, we're never gonna let it fade. We wanna taste all this world as the offer. When we run out of wine, we'll be sipping on sunshine.
How was your first rapid?
Crazy!
What?
Crazy!
Woo! That was fun. Let's keep going.
All we have is nothing, sometimes nothing's all you need. When you're stripped of all your armor, you can finally feel the breeze. We're living in the moment. We ain't got pockets full of money, but we're rich in other things. This highway is our living room, we're swimming in the mystery. We're living in the moment. We were born with gold on the inside, gold on the inside.
We just stopped here on the nice little campsite here on Lac Crichet, just before our next portage. Girls were hungry, I was hungry. So as I was thinking about lunch, the plan for lunch was to have some wraps with some cold cuts and cheese and stuff like that. But I forgot everything that was in the fridge. I forgot at home, so I forgot my cold cuts for 2 days worth of wraps, cucumber, and the cheese for the wraps. Really, that's all I forgot. The rest I have. So I had wieners. I bought a pack of 26. I figured we'd just eat them all around the campfire tonight and tomorrow night, but we just improvised, and now we've got some cheese from the pizza for tomorrow night. We've got wieners, mayo, mustard, and a wrap. it is what it is. Got myself a nice cappuccino as well, but I think it's too hot. Oh no, it's good. We're just gonna hang out here for a little bit and then we'll be back on the water. We just made a decision. We passed the last campsite at 6 o'clock, and then it's about 4 kilometers to get to the next campsite. No portages, all on the water. The water's nice, clear. It's nice and calm, so we should be able to travel fairly fast. And the reason why we made that decision is that it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And if we make it to that next campsite today, that means we did half the run in one day, and that allows us to have shorter days tomorrow, especially if it's gonna rain, and we're not exactly sure how much rain we have ahead of us. So anyways, it's a bit of a risky situation in the sense that we might get there when it's a little dark. And the other thing too is the way the park works is that you don't book campsites or you don't book areas, you book for a circuit. So the real risk is that if we get there and both of those campsites are full, we have another 4 kilometers to go to get to the next one. C'est par-dessus, par-dessus. Non, c'est en dessous, par-dessus. C'est ça. Hey ladies, how was the first day? 14 kilometers?
Crazy.
Was it crazy?
Yeah.
What are we having for dinner now?
Crazy.
Pasta?
Crazy.
It was a pretty good day for the first big adventure canoe trip where we actually, the goal of this trip with the kids this time around is to actually travel, do some portages. So we had one more small portage and we traveled actually 14 kilometers over roughly 4.5 hours, 5 hours, but I think we only moved for 3, so between the breaks and everything. But beautiful, beautiful day. We are super well set up. We got this massive tarp set up really high above the campfire, so we'll be able to have a campfire. It's gonna rain later on, so we're really well set up to be able to just hang out all night. And right now I'm doing some chicken Alfredo sauce / Mr. Noodles with cheese for the kids for dinner. I think it'll be pretty good. What do you think?
Yummy.
It's the end of the night. Yes, yes. Just walking the barrels out about 200 feet away from the camps with all of the food and everything. But all in all, freaking awesome first day. Last trip of the summer, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'll see you guys in the morning. Cheers. Good morning, everyone. How was your sleep?
Good.
Hey, we got cold last night, but were you cold or you managed to stay warm?
Cold and warm.
Yeah, cold when you took your sleeping bag off, and warm when you were in your sleeping bag, right?
I was warm with lava. So we are right here.
Where are we going?
We need to go this way, that way.
What was that? That was 380-meter portage, and we plowed through that bad boy fast. Listen, here's the reality of going out with kids on a portaging trip if it's gonna rain, is that, you know, the level of activity that they can do in a canoe is very small. So it's hard for them to warm up. So now we're soaking wet to the bones, at least what we're wearing. I have everything dry bags that I obviously don't want to take out because it's still raining. But because they can't, you know, they can't move a ton, it just keeping warm is hard for them. So we had to kind of activate, warm them up a little bit, give them food. So they were kind of slowly walking, making their way through the entire portage, but we were all, the three of us, like bombing back and forth to be back on the water. So we did that actually pretty fast, and now our priority will be to get them warmed up. So we're gonna bomb to the next campsite and kind of set up shop so we can warm them up. Although the rain did stop, and now that the kids have eaten, they're not, you know, shivering anymore, and I think they're feeling better. So you'd like me to help you out? Here you go. Here. So anyways, we're gonna try to go as far as we can, but we're keeping a close eye on the cold situation right now. Kids, hey, Rosie, here it is. There you go. So I don't know how far we'll go, but every campsite is a viable campsite at this point. We gotta keep these kids safe, obviously. And the way I always handle these kind of little tough moments here with the kids, because, you know, rain is always challenging for the kids in any kind of camping situation, especially in the backcountry where we're traveling, is I always tell them we take this one step at a time, eh, Charlotte? So the first step when we got to the other side of the portage was to do the portage. So we got there. Now I said the next step is to find a campsite, and you got to break it down for them, give them small little goals to achieve, and it helps quite a bit. And I like to think it's a good way to look at life as well. So now, baby girl, one step at a time. When it gets hard, you split it up into small little section, and then you just ace every one of them, right? All right. Yeah, what'd you find?
Can I touch him?
We do this in steps, like I said. So step number one was shelter. Look at this thing. I'll back up. So, first thing first, shelter. Within that shelter, we're using that ridge line for a clothesline to hopefully dry some stuff with the wind. We moved the fire pit right underneath here so we can dry everything tonight. And then the next step was to get Charlotte nice and dry. So we fancied new pants with my mid layer. Right? While we're drying the other ones. She's all good to go. All right, next step completed. Rosie is dry and warm. So what we ended up doing is we took Charlotte's puffy jacket that she doesn't need, and turn them into pens, turning effectively Rosalie into the Michelin Man. And then you have a little kangaroo pouch for your stuffed animal. Watch out. Don't. Oh, right on camera. What did you do, man? All right, give me a hand. 1, 2, 3. Up. We did good with fire, so we've got a ton of birch bark, then our small twigs, a little bit bigger twig, wrist size, I don't know, wood, and then a ton of batoning to get it going, and then we've got more of those logs that are not punky at all, or not super punky, so we should be able to dry them off and get them going. But we had to literally take the bark off of all of them, baton them to get the dry stuff out, and we're using a ton of birch bark to make sure that, you know, these will dry, because the inside is really dry, but the outside is obviously humid and wet. So hopefully just the wind, not the wind, just the big flames from the birch bark is going to do that for us. Success! We've got fire! 2 hours of work for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours of fire.
No, for enough to dry our stuff.
Yeah, for enough to dry our stuff and to cook tonight's dinner, which we didn't do last night, so I'm pretty excited about that. Here goes dinner, guys. Little cup of red wine, steak. Julian here, my cameraman. You know, this is take 2. He didn't hit record, so I'll give you my best first impression again. See if I live up to that. Nice little wine. Let's cut into that bad boy for you guys. Oh yeah, right here. Look at the size of this. Here goes that. Well, this is it, guys. We had a wonderful evening around the campfire. I can't believe we managed to burn, you know, to have a full-on campfire, cook our steaks and everything, and it was pouring rain all day and while we were doing it. Only at the end did it stop raining, so we really pulled through all together on this one to make this happen. But now I am beat. It's like 12:30. It's time to hit the sack. So good night, guys, and I'll see you in the morning.
La bonne soupe, c'est la bonne soupe. Ah, celle-là. La bonne soupe, c'est la bonne soupe, c'est la bonne soupe.
And we are back on the water, everyone. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We took it nice and easy after all of yesterday's event, but we have a little bit of sunshine.
And we're having ice cream.
We're gonna have ice cream later today. And just about 8.5 kilometers to paddle, so a few hours on the water max. We should be there, no portages, so that's good. I think we're all ready to go home because tomorrow school starts, so let's get going. I'm ever glad that this wind is a tailwind, man. Woo! This would be hell if it was right in our face, especially on the last day like this, but it is choppy out here. We gotta really navigate that canoe so it stays straight so we don't get it cross-side, because that could be easily tippable. But we're almost there. We can see the bridge. Thanks for watching if you're still here.
I hope you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe.